hire purchase transaction provides that the hire purchaser will pay me regular installments which will have two components, repayment of the principal and a interest element. And on completion of all the installments and on exercising the option to purchase, the transfer of property will take place. This is the agreement of hire purchase. Classic example of hire purchase agreement. However, the taxation of hire purchase under the VAT Act or under the CST deems as having taken place today when the agreement is entered into. That means the point of taxability is advanced today, although the occasion of collecting VAT on such a transaction or a CST on such a transaction is deferred over a period of receipt of installment, receipt or receivable, sale price received or receivable over a period of time. Now that is what is HP's transaction. In such a case, is it feasible to go for a 6-2 sale? Once again, this requires thinking and rethinking. Cholamandalam's case is in our favor, which is possible. Issue is, can you derive something out of which to claim also leasing transaction under 6-2? Once again, a long shot, but worth trying. When you have transaction which is crores of rupees, lakhs of rupees, it is worth the case, because the economics of the transaction would change of a leasing transaction. Now let's say, is it possible to have a 6-2 transaction in a works contract? We talked about deem sale, leasing, hire purchase, and now works contract. How does the transfer of property takes place in a works contract? It takes place by way of theory of accretion and accession. I am still holding that word. I have read L&T, larger bank, I have read Kone elevators, I know everything. But still I hold this. Anyway, the transaction, transfer of property does take place by the way of accretion and accession. It has to be transferred by that fashion. We will not go into Kone elevators. Nikita Van has discussed this in at length. We had a full session on it. Now, the transfer of property in a works contract is envisaged, is expected, is contemplated by way of accretion and accession. I'm talking about a proper construction of a, turnkey project of a plant and machinery. Can I have a 6-2 sale in such a case? Plain reading will say no. However, in a case where you have a split transaction, which is agreed between the contractor and the contractee, awardor of contract, and you have the supply portion as a divisible portion. In that case, you are in a position to claim a 6-2 sale also in a works contract. Friends, you can extend this logic to claim even 5-2 deduction in a case of a works contract, sale in the course of import. At times you receive C-form value of a lower amount. It could be a simple C-form transaction or it could be a C-form transaction which is part of a 6-2 sales. In such a case, if all the transactions which are covered by the buyer and seller is mentioned in the C-form, even though the total of the C-form value is lesser than the total which is claimed, still that claim of concessional rate of tax is valid. We have a 35 STC Oriental Papers case, which is followed by the Maharashtra Tribunal in Kosan Industries, which provides for providing a bond and it provides for the indemnity and the procedure. You will have to follow that. This procedure is similar to the loss of C-form. How do you get this notification issued is everybody's challenge. Now, one may have a case where you have C-form being received in the next quarter or even form being received in the next quarter or the previous quarter. There could be a mismatch. Friends, at least in the state of Maharashtra, we have a trade circular 17T of 2007, which provides that this is acceptable even if it is spilling on to the next year, as long as it is covered by a declaration. Only little difficulty is if it is spilling into the next year, in which year's file you will try and put up that form. Friends, you will have to take a Xerox copy and ask the officer to certify and make a appropriate note originally seen and it is kept in the next year's file and along with the other transactions, and this file this is kept only for the purpose of record. If that be the case, the claim is valid, but then you will have to prevail upon the officer to make appropriate note. I think this part is already covered by us. The sales were to A and he refuses to buy while the goods are not even reached the other state. And another buyer takes the delivery. Let us say the goods are going from Maharashtra to Indore, Mumbai to Indore. Z does not take it. So I approach P and request him, please take it. The goods are still not even reached the Indore transporters go down. Can P take such a case? The answer is no. We have this authority from the Madras High Court. Friends, I must say that this particular session has given me a special opportunity to read and reread this particular subject again. If the time permits and the President wishes, I may take a few questions. Otherwise, I must thank you all for a very patient hearing. Thank you very much.
If any questions are there, then you can ask the question to Rajat bhai. 5 questions.
Not delivery. Suppose Dr. Party came to Ahmedabad and that Ahmedabad party says and endorse the Angadia Summit. You have mentioned that Xerox copy will come.
Friends, what I mentioned was for a Angadia copy 6:2 is not possible. A. Secondly, Xerox copy is the custom in which the Angadia at the other station, let us say Ahmedabad, normally ask you for a proof of your identity, and against that proof of identity he delivers the goods. And that is what the trade practice is, sir. And this is what I have quoted from after speaking to a few friends, few clients in the trade. No, endorsement will never be allowed. That is what I am trying to say. If there is, in my view, if endorsement is not possible, even if it is done on original, would not change the claim. Humbly submitted.
Hello. My point is regarding splitting of LR. If the original seller who puts the good into the course of intercourse of trade, and if it is accompanied by a packing list, then probably under that one single LR, the buyer will be in a position to claim 6 to 7. What is your view on this?
You are trying to say that, let us say there was a case of 10 tons.
Envisaging a case where say 10 packages are coming and packages are marked A, B, C, D, E and
They are all identified with a number.
Yeah. So under same LR 10 packages are coming, but I am selling package A to one, package B to another, and likewise. I think this will not amount to say splitting LR as such, but virtually that would be a case of delivery order sort of thing. That should be permissible.
At the outset, I will say that what you are trying to say is not feasible, or the claim would not be allowed. I will give the reason. The bill of lading represents the whole lot of 10 tons, whether it is identified by A, B, C and D. Now, the delivery order that you wish to make,
Actually, I am not referring to delivery order.
Alright, you are trying to equate it with the delivery.
My prime submission is the packages which are coming under that LR, they are distinctively marked as package A, I am selling to one, package B, I am selling to another customer. Whether that is permissible.
That is
in law, there should not be a difficulty in claiming this under 6(2).
That is what I am saying. As a owner, I have claimed all the 10 tons from the transport company. No.
But till the time I take delivery from the transporter,
How will you otherwise instruct the transporter? That is the
By
point.
issuing separate order, I will
Now
be
you are
issuing-
coming back to the issuing of a delivery order.
But not splitting delivery lorry receipt as such.
Then what are you doing?
I'm instructing maybe it could be a case that all
Tell
10
you.
packages, 10 train orders
There is
have been
a
given
one
the same day.
transaction which represents 10 tons. That is what it is. And this transaction is to be sold while the goods are in transaction.
Not
Let's
necessarily.
understand, my vendor has dispatched me 10 tons. That is,
No, you are taking a case of take one single commodity. There could be a case.
I am talking about
Yeah.
10 tons represented by 10 different packets, A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, maybe different commodities also.
Alright, 10 different
Yeah.
commodities also, I agree.
Yeah.
But what I am trying to say is, it is represented by one proof of document of title to the goods,
Yeah,
which is represented singly by one LR.
yeah.
Now, to make it split, whether you call it the LR splitting or you call it issuance of delivery order, one will have to examine it, how it is possible that you are selling a part of the entire ownership of the entire lot. Now, what is practically done in such a case, which happens on a day-to-day basis in case of paper trade, every single ream, let us say one ream is 1 ton and 6 tons are normally loaded on 406 Tata truck. Now, all 6 are represented by 6 LR and the paper trader does 6 endorsement. Even though there is a single sales invoice from his vendor. This is how the trade functions, sir. And when what you talk about is an afterthought. Fortunately, it will not happen.
This is just an academic question. Second thing is regarding CST collection. If the seller collects CST, that would definitely he would invite problem. But there is no bar in claiming a reimbursement of CST paid to the seller. That
Ultramarine
reimbursement
pigment,
is,
Bombay High Court.
huh?
Ultramarine pigment, forfeiture.
But will that be illegal? No,
Certainly.
because
I mean, you are heading to
no,
not Tribunal High Court.
While in the department, I allowed such claims in the case of L&T. Because L&T used to sell goods on 6/2 and in their sale bill, they used to recover the amount, exact amount, not different amount.
Originally
Exact-
suffered on the vendor's invoice.
Yeah, that is
And-
permissible.
and what was the stated
reimbursement? The reimbursement of CST paid to the original vendor does not amount to collection. That is what I am saying.
I know, that is what I am saying. There will be a litigation. This is what I started saying, that you will be inviting unnecessary questions. So that is why the point was that let's make it practical. Let's put this transaction or explanation by way of an email to the customer and you buy peace.
No, that is okay. But second, this is a very elementary thing again. I think the law does not speak in terms of endorsement as such. The law speaks only in terms of transfer of title of documents. So no endorsement is necessary. So far as 6/2 transactions are concerned.
Alright. How your transfer is to be examined.
Yeah, it's just my supplier to directly to my customer. In the LR, the consignor is the main mover of the goods and the consignee is the ultimate receiver of the goods in another state. So what happens in the LR, they are directly mentioning from consignor to consignee. There is no mention of my name because I am the main
In between
person.
your name does not appear at all.
But if suppose somebody is writing, the consignor is mentioning account A, suppose I am A. So he is mentioning account A. So without any endorsement on the LR, whether that LR is valid document.
Same thing. That is what is Ajay Trading is all about. That is in your favor.
He's not mentioning on account. Consignor is Mr. X, consignee is Z. And I am the buyer. I am the second buyer. I am Y, you are X, and the double Y is Z. Directly you are transferring X on my behalf to Z, but not mentioning any account. Does it valid?
Certainly this will have difficulty because what would happen, how will you do constructive endorsement here? Now you may have excise document to prove that these goods were in the excise invoice, the mention of Kalpesh is there as a consignee, as a buyer, and the destination consignee is Z. Still that this will be definitely a questionable thing. I mean, I believe it is a difficult proposition. But how we will issue C4? leasing company, let us say, is leasing equipments for manufacturing, all the three can issue C-form?
Yeah.
Possible? Yes. It is for use in manufacture, trading, resale, packing of the goods, generation of electricity or telecommunication or mining. These are the purpose for which C-form can be issued.
Yes.
Now if I am able to prove that I am eligible, why 6.2 is not
Say,
possible?
suppose take a case of leasing of a car.
Car is a different proposition. But I that time I gave the example of equipments, not of car.
That's okay. That's okay. But practically
Yes.
that problem would
car,
arise.
car normally 6.2 is not happening. Car there is a different proposition. The invoice is not in your name. That is the main challenge, not the 6.2 issue.
Vijay bhai, as you have referred that the delivery order by bank, correct? Now banker have not given the delivery order, correct? Any other alternative for that? Say as for example, after happening of the transaction, somewhere bank have confirmed that delivery, then will it be tenable?
Now, one will have to see how the bankers have confirmed. Bankers will give me a sort of a advice saying that this amount is received and I have handed over the LR to Z.
Some sort of confirmation.
एक second. But how will the transporter accept Z as a recipient of the goods? Because LR is self. Unless on my endorsement, the bankers confirm and mention the name of Z, till such time this thing will not happen. That is the unfortunate part. That is what is the unfortunate part. I said that.
Good afternoon, friends. Friends, there are certain announcements. That is, since there is no election, our 63rd annual general meeting of the association is preponed from 5 p.m. to 3 p.m. on the same date and same venue. Date is 18 July 2014. Same date, same venue. Next is 18th NRRC. 18th NRRC shall be held on 23rd and 24th August 2014 at Nagpur, jointly with AFTP, West Zone, Vidarbha Tax Practitioners Association, Nagpur, and Sestax Bar Association, Nagpur. Detailed circular is available and displayed on our website and printed even in STR. 11th Study Circle meeting, next Study Circle meeting, will be held on 11th July 2014. The speaker will be CA Kiran Garkar. The subject will be recent amendment under MY Act. This is with reference to recent bill. Now we have made one representation to Commissioner for those dealers whose turnover is between 60 lakhs to 1 crore. And they want to file J1, J2 and they are not able to file the same because they have opted yes while selecting their criteria for audit. However, now due to increased turnover criteria, they are supposed to file J1, J2 before 30th June. This option is not even available to them on the website. So we have asked for the solution on the same to the Commissioner and we will get reply soon. Now present task of vote of thanks. Today's speaker, Rajat Bhai Talati, Pankaj Parikh, our President Pankaj Parikh, my seniors in the profession and my colleagues. Today's subject is very important. This subject has become more and more complicated due to various court decisions and it has become very vast. CA Rajat Talati has explained this complicated subject in a very simple language. He has covered almost all the cases, very important cases, and covered the subject in a given time. He has not only discussed the practical difficulties and problems, but also given solution to the same. I hope all the delegates must have cleared their doubts. Friends, please give him loud applause. Thank you. Now I request all to rise for the national anthem.
Himalaya, Yamuna, Ganga, Uttara